Hey guys, this is Hank. Um, Coming at you with kind of a different video. This is a bit longer because this firefight gets pretty intense. Um, I'm picking off right now. I'm at the Corvega plant fairly early in the Inara's career, and this is one of the post-up buildings I can use to hit several of the enemies here. Now, the way I've got the difficulty settings, I got the game modified with about 120 different mods. Blood textures, gore, homemaker, ESM. If you have any questions, you can just leave me a comment and I'll give you the things to load. And you'll get extra weapons, Raider Overhaul, and the specific load order, because I know it's kind of hard to get specific load orders out of people, but I can help you with that as well. But I'm using a mod called Darker Nights. So everything, and I also have a light tweak in there, so that's why we're getting all this beautiful color here in the background. But it is harder to pick these raiders up. I'm using the sneak right now to kind of help me determine where the enemies are, and I'll make a little pass over here and there. Now, I've made some very, very good shots. The battle gets more and more intense as the minutes go on, because typically this is how I operate in survival. Because my enemies, I've got a mod enabled where the enemies will do 4 times their normal amount of damage to me. So it doesn't really leave a lot of room for mistakes. So you have to be very tactically aware.
Hey, people of the Commonwealth.
And so I'm clearing the outside of the building as best I can, get an idea of where all my enemy positions might be. And the next thing is, I'm like any sniper in real life or in Fallout, you're going to have to move positions. You change your hides. Take all you can out from one area, and then you move positions, and that'll help you from getting run up on. But my headshots, I'm getting headshot after headshot after headshot here at these distances.
Just kidding, folks. Here's another song for you.
Now, right now, this is fairly standard. This is this is not surrendering. This is not particularly different than the way that I would normally approach it. But as I progress towards the bridge, things start to change very rapidly. In the background you hear, I believe we are listening to Cadillac Jack's Radio Shack. Also, a mod that I have that gives us plenty of different radio stations to listen to. I caught this guy out of the corner of my eye here. And headshot. And I like to shoot him in the face, that way I don't have to deal with him again. And most raiders are lightly armored, so with a good 308 you can tear their leg off. If you have to shoot them in the upper thigh, it's still going to kill them. I have a gore mod and a enhanced blood textures mod, so as we get closer you'll be able to actually see a little bit more of the blood spray. And like I showed you in the dog meat passive lure and using optics to command and control your companions, you've left Codsworth behind, because I find that some non-player characters have different scripts and they want to stick closer to you. Codsworth's one of them, and he will step in front of a shot, and one shot from my rifle at point blank will cause him to need a repair. Now, if I was smart, I would have seen the guy up there on the top of that Corvega tower. If you look up there from the center where it says Corvega, and then just a little to the left, all the way up there at the top, there is an enemy walking around. You can just barely see them, but I missed it on that pass. C'est la vie. Yeah, attacking in the dead of night has great advantages. I don't yet have the requisite perks for to create night vision scopes. Down here I miss and miss and miss. These guys are extremely lucky. But I'm always got extra cover to move behind, even in range. So you can see where those bullets almost hit me there, where they reflected off of the overpass. Now this is kind of a precarious situation because you could have a couple of raiders coming from a couple of different directions, even in a standard scenario. I have an additional mod loaded called War in the Commonwealth, and it causes more enemies to spawn in random locations, so you have to be exceptionally vigilant. The hits that we were both, the raiders and myself, were putting into that vehicle was enough to set it up for destruction. And the textures mod, he's surrendering. I don't give a shit. I'll knock him out. It's enough to detonate that car there. And I think those redone explosions are very, very nice. Very nice addition. Now, one thing to note, if you don't know already, a lot of these lights can't be knocked out. Now, this person up here was the one that I should have shot earlier from the other position. And I had forgotten you can't shoot through the underside of the grate. It does attract enough attention to get them around, but again, I miss. I'm behind the target. And I just went for center mass at that range. Now, this danger really surprised the hell out of me. This mole rat was part of one of the spawns. Anytime you're dealing with mole rats, you want to jump up on something, like a ledge, a car, or whatever. It keeps them from being able to mob you, attack you from both sides. And the reason I use VATS there in that close encounter instead of the free fire is because I'm always kind of keeping in mind that I'm trying to build my critical meter somewhat. I don't rely heavily on VATS in survival mode, but I will take advantage of it, especially the criticals, because there are going to be those instances like in the mole rat video, critical conservation, survival tactics, critical conservation, you see where that's important. So I feel like I've pretty much taken out all the enemies that I can from here, but I'm still getting this caution. So it's surprising me. I've got another little nest here that I like to use that gives me a slight angle on that one raider in there with his heavy power armor. And typically he's got a fat man. He's extremely dangerous, trying to attack him from the wrong area. So I'm just patiently waiting, hoping, because I can see his light, and I'm hoping he's going to walk by me and I can shoot him in the back of the head, where the back of the power armor there, where the fusion core is. Let's see, there's a little firefight going on here. Good night. I don't know what he was shooting at. That was the raider firing a mini nuke or something. I have no idea. It could be two different raider bands that are attacking one another. So I'm still trying to find the angle on this guy. That's the turret there. Just enough piece of it from this hidey hole here. And this makes a good sniper's nest, because it makes it very hard for the enemies to target you and to get behind you. So I got another danger, so you know, I'm clueless as to where these attacks are coming from. Mole rats are spawning in. This is one of the additional weapons that's added to the game. I'm sure by now you've already noticed that we've got modified weapon sounds, and we've also got pipe weapons overhaul. So we are using a modified pipe weapon, which for its level, you know, pound for pound, does just as well as the assault rifle, or when it's up, not the assault rifle, the combat rifle when it's upgraded a little bit. And it's reliable enough. Now, I thought I shot that guy in the face, but from time to time you're going to strike a beam. From time to time you're just not going to get that angle that you need. And then in that instance, it's 83% chance to take his leg out. Again, I thought I hit him. Had to back away from that ledge. I can't afford to take much direct fire. So again, I'm going to try and change position. I always do a little back check because you never know when they're going to come up behind you. Now, one thing I will cover probably in later survival videos is the importance of the right type of food. First, you want to eat to make sure you're not hungry. And once you're not hungry anymore, the foods that you eat can enhance your abilities and stats. Like, one thing you always want to be on the lookout for is ragstag, to be hunting that. Because that'll give you plus 25 carry weight. You know, your Deathclaw steaks heal you 185 points over time, plus agility. Vegetable stew is really easy to make. I really regretted not being able to shoot him there. I thought I would have the opportunity, but I just missed it. I thought maybe he was going to come back out. Unfortunately, he did not. Yeah, the vegetable stew will give you 25% rad resistance. You know, and if you mix that with something like the glowing blood packets. Okay, so he's down. He was my major threat. He was my major concern because he could potentially lob a mini nuke just about anywhere and really ruin my day. It's those guys with the mini nukes. So it is a battle going on between Forged Raiders and it's not Tower Tom. It's I forget the name of the raider that runs this particular the Corvega plant, but obviously they're at war with one another right now, which has played to my advantage. But you see how much damage I took from just that grazing fire. And I have 2 ranks in armor. I have upgraded armor. I am wearing good armor, and that just hit me. Bam, shot him in the head, and still I've got danger. So no, I'm not hungry. This time I elect just to eat one of these new things, so I can kind of want to hang on to some of my other things. The ragstag, you also want to pay very close attention when you're in your survival what the different weights are. Like, for example, a ribeye steak that comes from the Brahmin doesn't give you anything but healing and a full belly, but it's a pound. Whereas your squirrel on a stick is 1/10 of a pound, and they do the same thing. So, you know, vegetable soup's a pound, noodle cups half a pound. Noodle cups in any other kind of soups hydrate as well as give you, alleviate your hunger.
I just love kicking back in the mouth.
But purified water is easy enough to come by, because if the more you watch my videos, you'll see there's one thing that I unavoidably always pick up, and that is empty bottles of any type. And that way, anytime I go to a tap, I can fill it with purified water and never have to pay for it. I don't specifically have to go all the way back to a settlement for that. And I can, gather the dirty water as I need to make recipes, the right recipes. So one more pass. Yeah, you never know. I know there's got to be at least 1-2 more in there somewhere. I can't hit from this position. So. I want to look as best I can without exposing myself too much. I barely caught a glimpse of her as she ran by. And bam, shot in the leg. and down and out. Now, if I recall correctly, the next shot that I track, it's got to be the luckiest son of a bitch alive, because I felt like I had a good bead on one of these guys coming up here, and he just got by me. Not forever though, but I guess that beam protected him there. Okay, I'm coming across. I feel like I got him bang in the head. I'm right behind him, and he's just the luckiest son of a bitch alive, and then that's it. His day is over. So at this point, I feel like I've cleared the area well enough to enter Corvega. I'm going to do one more check in this area just to see if I can, spot any more enemies while I have this particular vantage point. I don't collect a lot, but I will always collect food sources. I mean, I'm not above eating mole rat. And, that's a half a pound. I eat things like mutt chops and mole rat chunks and bloat fly, baked bloat fly, because they're real common. I mean, they weigh, the mutt chops are about a pound. The mole rat chunks are half a pound. The bloat fly is half a pound. So it's not ideal, and that's why I go through it first. And it doesn't enhance your stats in any way. So I eat that to alleviate my hunger before I'll eat the grilled rag stag and the deathclaw steaks and vegetable soups and such. Squirrel stew, if you'd also like to get that plus 2% experience bonus. But when you're playing with this many spawns, you don't really need to push that extra level of experience. Now, what I'm saying about these lights here is any of those lights that are moving, you can target and take them out. And that's going to give you a little bit more of an advantage. That ends it for this video, and I will catch you guys later. It's been Hank.